the CDC, I'm going to go back to something they've said, and maybe I will stop with this, because I want to address, we don't have time to go through the whole premise of the book Time Bomb, but if you're still unfamiliar with that, it deals with autoimmune disease, reversing things like Crohn's, fibromyalgia, digestive issues, gallbladder issues, chronic fatigue, brain fog. So much of the stuff that people deal with every day that their traditional medicine practitioners have told them is normal aging, or it's just the times we live in, or they've bumped up to the statistical norms. And Daniel, you know this is true, that like with testosterone dropping in our men, over 1,000 points since 2 generations ago. So let's say my great-grandfather had 2,700 as a high T count. And his man, he's a man with 2,700 active testosterone in his body. The normal now for my age is about 550. That would be on the low side of it. But because everybody's has fallen, it's now normal. There's nothing normal about it. Does this make sense?
Yeah, so, it's like the average.
Yeah, the average is, okay, so that's the average, but is it where God wants his people? Are people suffering? And let me just throw this out there. The CDC explains that, this is a quote, a wide range of health effects, acute and chronic, are associated with exposures to some pesticides, including nervous system impacts, skin. I've seen guys with MTHFR genetic conditions or no known illness that have this constant boils and skin rashes and things like this. Their doctors have called it psoriasis of the skin, and they've given them ointments or oral meds for this. It doesn't do anything for them. They suffer. Eye irritation, retinal tinnitus, brain fog, cancer, and endocrine disorders, the inability to sleep at night, the inability to produce hormones, the inability to create proper stomach bile for the breaking down of food, which leads to gallbladder issues. So then traditional medicine wants to just start surgically removing things because they hurt.
Yeah.
We as a people have walked so far away from the laws of God. Daniel kind of hinted at when he talked about the soil and the way that God had created it originally and what we've done to basically destroy so much of it. I just want to leave viewers with this. There is hope. Try not to let the daily, nuclear bombardment of what is in social media about things like 5G technology, pesticides, herbicides. Remember that God knew all of this would be happening in 2019, and he put you here for a reason anyway. And so maybe it's about teaching our kids to avoid this stuff. Maybe it's about reversing disease through the God-given principles of how we're to take care of our temple. But also, we just want to shed light on darkness for those that are trying really hard, but are still experiencing, chronic fatigue or upset of the stomach, or they have stress or irrational anxiety. So much of this starts in the gut tube.
Let me piggyback on one thing you just said, Joe. You'd mentioned a variety of issues that this can create, some endocrine derangement, skin issues, just a whole variety of things, colitis, Crohn's, and totally tied also to the eliminative organs, the colon, colitis, Crohn's, diverticulitis, these vast array of diseases that we're struggling with now as a people. And the big trend is probiotics, and of which is a powerful tool for us to use to help people out. But we have so destroyed the culture within, the kind of ecosystems in the body that these actually kind of fall on barren soil in so many ways. So the other really big positive to actually come out of this conversation is the fact of how much money you can save. Because this, we have probiotics, actually bacterial ecology of your mouth has a lot to do with cavities. Bacterial ecology in your nose has a lot to do with sinus infection. It is kind of everywhere. So, and this glyphosate continuously breaks down this entire process from the beginning to the end. And if we correct this on the most base levels, so by reducing something, by taking glyphosate out of our lives and the small steps into which we do, we can greatly save ourselves huge amounts of money. Not just from not buying probiotics to help our upset stomach or our colitis or our Crohn's, but by preventing the scenario that ever occurs in the first place. And that keeps you out of the hospitals, it keeps you away from co-pays, keeping your premiums down. That's the other thing about our sick care system. And that's what it is. It's a sick care system. It isn't a health care system. Once you're liable, you're always liable. If I had a heart murmur at 20 and I then got my health right, and then everything completely redeems and corrects itself and regenerates, then in turn, I'm still liable for the problem I had the first time. I'm in great health by comparison to 20 years ago. And,
exactly.
when I was in my early 20s, high blood pressure in the Army, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, like insomnia, like serious like metabolic derangements as well as endocrine derangements where, my hormones weren't functioning correctly. And, now it's 25 years later.
But at that time, you were eating the SAD diet, too.
That was a sad diet. And
running on your youth.
A lot of stress.
I did the same thing, Tons of stress, running on adrenaline.
SAD diet is standard American diet.
The SAD diet is standard American diet. It's just whatever you see that makes sense to you to eat that day. Whether it be handy or tastes good.
And especially, and I think that this is even more true because, it was quite some time ago. But, being in the military, you had to eat what you could get when you could get it and as much fuel as you could get, right?
Right.
And we didn't ever even talk about these things. This kind of information didn't exist, even though the reality existed, right? So it shows that, and as a kid that kind of grew up living that way, and there's kind of a phrase in healthcare circles, you can't exercise your way through a bad diet.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean?
Well, that's
like it will offset a lot.
Right.
Because I'm eliminating. My lymph is bouncing and my lungs are taking up a lot more. Sweating and doing all this stuff. But it will always catch you. The truth bears witness to itself. So this is just evidence. So we don't like all this disease, but it's just evidence for the nature of our
that I bring
priorities.
Water up so much.
Yeah, and it's also the easiest thing to address because even for a relatively small amount of money, when we know this is associated with so many diseases, we can really kind of get at that and save ourselves a lot of money. And that's really what I'm getting. And not only what you're saving your children and your grandchildren, they matter to me. I probably matter to you, is what I'm guessing.
Right.
And so there is a whole lot that can be done, and with that money, we can really do much greater and better things in our lives. And like you said, to kick it off, vote with our money.
Yeah. That's vote with your money.
Vote with your money. If you show me your pocketbook, I'll show you what you respect.
That's right.
And so
and you empower those that are at the front lines trying to bring you good food.
Yeah.
You're helping them do that because how many of us can make our lives defined by standing in front of city council 7 days a week?
Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying? Not suggesting that we shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
I write my congressmen, I write my senators. I'm a good I'm a good American citizen. I do my part to vote. I and all of that. But at the end of the day, if I continue to buy the things that I know are bad for me and eat them, that is irrelevant. Right?
Yeah, and it's on us.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then it's on
I didn't
us.
want it that much.
Right.
But anyway, so the idea of eating organic, man, there's so many things. How do you detox from glyphosate? There's so many things we just don't have time to talk about in this panel. But I just encourage people to check out Time Bomb because there are so many, like you talked about probiotics. One of the things Daniel has suggested that I do, and this has helped a ton, is eat fermented foods. Maybe being more powerful than taking a spendy probiotic.
Yeah, without getting
kraut, kimchi, this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it's fermented fiber specifically.
Now he's going to teach a clinic on fermented fiber.
I won't. No, I'll keep it really brief.
You got to love this guy because you can say almost anything, and it's interesting. 1 hour later, the clinic comes to a close. You know,
I do that. But to glyphosate, I would say the outside of the two things we just suggested. Fermented fiber is the single best thing you could do because of the way it reinitializes giving you probiotics. It is a probiotic. It gives you the fiber by which they live on, but all the things produced from the bacteria metabolizing that fiber heal the digestive linings. They heal and reestablish metabolic pathways. And this is a deeply complicated
it's way more complex.
It is.
They start choking off the overgrowth of candidus and SIBO and all this other stuff that people are plagued with.
Yeah, and I would even say that that's the beauty of God because it precedes that we don't need to know all that. Like, I am utterly fascinated. I study all day, every day, essentially.
He does. He really does.
And but that there is real, tangible things that we know that we can do. And something as small as adding just one bite of kimchi a day or two or kraut or something like that goes to directly addressing the metabolic dysfunction that comes with association of glyphosate specifically. Wow. And there's a couple other things that follow this. And again, we will hopefully be providing more of that programming.
Yeah. $6 for a jar of really good
therapy.
Yeah, therapy that's going to last you 3 weeks if you do it, in small portions.
Yeah, absolutely. Super cheap. And almost always, your path to health is the cheapest, simplest, most direct path to fulfilling your nature.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying before, too. I mean, even with the Berkey water filter, a couple $100 or $300 or $400 might seem like a lot at first for some people, which is totally understandable. But think about all the money you'll be saving without all the extra medical bills by not doing it.
Yeah.
So that makes total sense.
And we're meant to feel good in our lives, too. This is a lot of reason why we feel bad, like the aches and pains. We could literally associate almost all major conditions from derangements of the digestive and metabolic system. So you're talking about Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, developmental diseases in children, fertility, whether you're motivated in the morning or whether you go to sleep at night. It literally is pervasive on almost every
This is literally why we wrote Time Bomb. Please get a copy of Time Bomb because it will put so much into perspective for you.
And we're going to let you know how you can get a copy of this. That'll be after this episode. But yes, please do. Just really quickly, you can go to skywatchtvstore.com and find that there. But we got some other stuff that we can put with it. We'll tell you about that in a minute.
As many as 80% of Americans are carrying a time bomb. A medical crisis in their bodies right now, unaware that they will soon develop prolonged chronic illness, autoimmune disease, or even cancer. Today's frightening truth is citizens are being poisoned every single day without their knowledge. A health epidemic largely brought on by industrialized food is destroying our genetics and immune systems through deadly modified organisms, carcinogenic materials, and life-threatening chemicals commonly found in most of today's processed groceries. Coming this April in the groundbreaking new book, Time Bomb, by Joe Ardis Horn and Allie Anderson. You'll be put in charge of your health once again as commercial marketing games are exposed and the expose of the year unveils how easy it is to avoid toxic ingredients, identify organic and safe foods, and make healthy eating affordable. You will learn how neuroscience is confirming an amazing gut-brain connection that holds the key to maintaining physical, hormonal, emotional, and mental wellness. With powerful insights from health professionals for maintaining superior physiology and reversing chronic illness without a weight loss diet. Time Bomb is set to become your most important field guide for avoiding a national health epidemic more pervasive than anyone could have ever imagined. Time Bomb.
There is a genocide of deadly processed foods happening right now in the United States, creating a health epidemic more pervasive than anyone ever imagined. But now, you can arm yourself with the knowledge to keep you and your family from becoming its next victim. Skywatch TV is proud to announce the Time Bomb special offer. When you order Time Bomb from the Skywatch TV store, you'll also receive the Time Bomb Companion DVD. This incredible DVD includes special, never-before-released, off-the-record interviews with healthcare professionals like Dr. Ralph Umbriaco, Dr. Joshua Vance, and Dr. Matthew Sams on the current food crisis in the U.S., and tips on how to achieve your optimal physiological health. This DVD is nearly 5 hours in length and also includes the entire Skywatch TV Time Bomb television series with Joe Horn, Allie Anderson, and Derek Gilbert. But that's not all. You'll also receive Eat This and Live for Kids. This colorful, fully illustrated book by Dr. Don Colbert walks you step by step through how to begin teaching your kids to love the foods that will love them back. While out shopping, how to avoid deadly toxins in many common kids' foods and household products, what to feed your kids from preschool to preteen, healthy snacks they will love, and what supplements they'll desperately need, and so much more. But the health epidemic isn't just limited to humankind. Also included in this unbelievable special offer, Joe Ardis Horn's best-selling book, The Dead Pets Don't Lie Expose, and companion DVD. This shocking book and DVD collection sounds the alarm on the scandalous practices of the commercial pet food industry. Learn how the FDA is allowing big scams where detestable, poisonous pet foods are being passed off as healthy and causing pets to die prematurely. You'll learn everything you need to know in order to quickly read pet food labels and allow your pet to avoid these toxic ingredients. Sold separately, these items hold a retail value of over $100. Yours now for a donation of only $30 plus shipping and handling. Take control today. The Time Bomb special offer is your field guide to avoiding the deadly processed foods and ingredients that are creating a massive wave of health crisis in America. This information covers every member of the family, the adults, children, and even our pets. Begin transforming how you and your family eat and live now. The Time Bomb special offer. Order now at the Skywatch TV store online or call 844-750-4985.